Hi, Morgan Hightower back with you for the second video that I was going to show. If you remember, I talked about Alabates flint in my first video, and as you can see on my table, I have a few selections of flint, some stone tools that I found, and some stone tools that were made by me, as well as the tools that are used to make arrowheads and knives. If you remember, I spoke about Alabates flint in my first video, and Alabates flint is unique to the Texas Panhandle because it only comes from the Texas Panhandle. It's made out of a silicified stone called a dolomite, which can only be found down by Lake Meredith. And actually, when there's a Alabates flint national monument there, and they have a gift shop and building, and they give tours, and they can tell you all about Alabates flint. First, I want to show you that there's not just Alabates flint, there's different types of flint. This type of flint I found in Missouri. This is a flint that comes from Kay County, Oklahoma, and it's more of a rough, chalky flint. This is a flint that I was sent. I have no clue where it came from, but it's a white, chalky flint, also known as a chert. And this here is obsidian, which is a volcanic glass, and when used is really sharp. In fact, at the turn of the century, doctors used this instead of a steel scalpel because it was so sharp. Now, the Antelope Creek peoples figured out that they could use this Alabates flint for their tools. And what they would do, they'd find this flint about 6 feet down under the ground and dig it up and break it down into chunks like this, which is also known as a trade blank or a biface. Made it a lot easier to handle this flint and transport it from tribe to tribe, and they'd use this for trading. As you can see, it is multicolored. It comes in every color of the rainbow and has been found as far north as Canada, as far as south as South America, and east of the Mississippi River. So it's a widely used and highly prized type of flint. Now, to the right of that, you will see some artifacts that I found, excluding these. These are some tools, but here's a crescent knife, known for its crescent shape, that I found. This is a knife. These are scrapers. They would use these to scrape the hides off the animals that they used, mainly buffalo. They ate the buffalo. They used every part of the buffalo, the bone, the hide for their shelters, the sinew for making arrows and bindings. These are some knives that they made. These are also Alabates flint, found by me. Another small scraper. And these are what is known as thumb scrapers, also found by myself. And then this is a bone awl, which is made out of a bone of a small animal, probably a deer, and was used for their sewing. They'd punch a hole in their leather and run their leather sinew through. And this is a small drill, which would have been attached to probably a stick and used to drill the hole. And these are some couple of small arrowheads. Everybody thinks the arrowheads were really huge, but these were actually the ones that went on the stick, and they used them to hunt small game as well as big game because these small arrowheads could pierce the ribs. Now over to the right is some of the stuff I've made and the tools I use. American Indians used bone and stone tools, antler, for their flaking work. These are some antler that I've made to flake flint. These would have been hammer stones that they used to drive the flake of flint off so that they could make a tool out of it. Me, I use modern tools. This is my sandstone. These are what are known as copper boppers, which are used to drive flakes of flint off. Then a rubber hand pad to protect my hand from being cut. And this is what's known as an ishi stick. It's got a copper nail in it. Ishi stick is named after one of the last known Yahi Indians from California that came out of the wilderness in 1911. He was starving and everything, and he showed scientists and archaeologists how his people made arrowheads using a stick about this length And like I said, his name was Ishi, so it's now called an Ishi stick. Above this, you see some stuff that I've made. I talked to you about the obsidian. This is an obsidian arrowhead I made, which, as you can tell, is really sharp and flat. This is some flint from South Texas that I made. This is some alabates from here in the Texas Panhandle. Some more alabates. This is actually the bottom of a glass bottle. Glass bottles are great for it because they are tempered glass and they act a lot like the obsidian points. And this is a piece of Frisco chert that I made. The Indians here used what was called a four-beveled knife, and this is a piece of flint from northeast Oklahoma that I went and bought and then made into the four-bladed knife. And this is my take on a modern knife with the same kind of flint on a wooden handle with sinew. And then an arrow that I made using the same material. They would have used river cane, other types of cane. This is made from cedar, and then they used bird feathers for the fletchings to make the arrow spin and fly further. And then this is a club I made. They used clubs, but I don't think they were this ornate or this fancy, but this is actually a piece of glass that I made into this war club. I hope this video was very informative, and I wish y'all all a great school year. Thank you.